Now, being featured on the news program 60 Minutes is generally not a good thing. In last week's feature on the vaccine rollout, reporter Bill Whitaker pointed out in a discussion with Montgomery County Health Officer Dr. Travis Scales that Maryland was ranked almost dead last, 48th actually, in getting the vaccine distributed. So, Ron, what you just heard a very compelling story. Why has the rollout been so complicated?
Well, I think it's a failure of the state and the local governments to communicate with one another. If Dr. Gales is right and we're getting 4,500 doses per week, clearly that's insufficient for the population of Montgomery County, but it's also hampered by the fact that up until yesterday, there was no plan for us to have a mass vaccination site. And I believe Montgomery College is on the list of one of the places being considered to provide that kind of service. I think that we really do need to ramp up access to mass sites so that we can get more vaccinations in arms so that we can quell some of the frustration that people are feeling, because this has been a very lengthy and difficult process.
So, part of it, and the announcement about the Germantown campus of Montgomery College being used as a mass vaccination site is welcomed. I think it's going to be a county-run site and not a state-run site. So that's a little bit of a different flavor than what we've seen across the state. But how good a job is Montgomery County doing for its residents? I mean, when you log on to their website, they just went into offering the vaccine for phase 1C individuals. There is a long list of preferred groups that have priority. So what kind of a job has the county done on this?
Well, I think their job has been less than desirable. I think the county has not yet figured out a way to meet the needs where they are so that people aren't spending hours clicking through websites trying to find a place to get a vaccine. And we're talking about older citizens of the county who may not be as tech savvy as some of our younger members. We need to figure out ways to get these vaccines into communities where the people are so that we can kind of eliminate some of this frustration that people are feeling with the technological aspects of the vaccine rollout.
I want to go to Mark, but then I got a follow-up question for you, Ron. Mark, the Hogan administration announced the opening of 2 other mass vaccination for a total of 6 in the state, but hasn't helped here and opened up one here in Montgomery County, which, as Ron mentioned, is our most populous county in the state. What's the story on that?
Well, I would clearly focus on sort of 2 pieces. There's opening up the mass facilities, which is helpful and useful, but one of the primary sources of frustration has been the back-end process, if you will, when you contact, when you sign up, when you get notified, how that works. And from what I can see, one of the issues we've had is, although we knew the vaccines were coming, in the middle of the process, both Maryland but other jurisdictions as well did a kind of in the middle of sort of changed pilots in the middle of the process, and gave the local departments of health a lot more responsibility. Challenge there is they're not really they're not really geared up to do the kind of mass invitations, to have the kind of tech requirements, and their systems were not in place to do that. I will tell you, this is a problem in other jurisdictions as well, but it was clearly a mistake to be able to not be better prepared to have a sign-up process going into this.
Well, even now with the number of mass vaccination sites, they still don't have a single pre-registration form for the state of Maryland, which I was able to get a vaccination appointment at the Waldorf mass vaccination state, but it was because I went to each site individually. I mean, that seems like there's still a technological flaw there.
And full disclosure, I got my vaccine in Virginia. I have my own stories about that, but I'm still waiting to get my second shot. But they had their own snafus that were.
Ron, I want to go back to you on the Baltimore Sun ran a featured article about the failure of getting the vaccine into the as they call racial equity, that it's not meeting those goals. Why is it so hard to meet those goals that the state wants to achieve?
Well, I think part of the problem is the technological aspect, and the other part of it is time. I don't think it has anything to do with the reluctance of people of color to take the vaccine. I think it's a matter of understanding where the facilities are, how to get appointments, and to do it in a way that's not disruptive to already stringent time constraints that people are operating with. You have kids that you're trying to educate, you have other family responsibilities. There are a million things going on, and to be expected to spend 6 hours in line to get an inoculation is a lot for most families in the county and in the state.
Yeah, no, I had set times every day that I would check, all of the different websites and make the phone calls, and eventually one of them clicked. So I'm very happy. And I hope it's a challenge that the state overcomes, because I think we have a population of 7 million people. We want to have everyone that's eligible for being vaccinated protected. So I want to thank you all for being here. When we come back from this short break, are electric vehicles really eco-friendly? The county's making a big investment that they are. Stay tuned for more of 21 this week when we come back from the short break.
More people live in Montgomery County than in Wyoming, Vermont, North Dakota, and even DC. We are a big county with a lot of stories. Subscribe to our channel and don't miss any of the important news happening in our community.